Hey everybody, welcome back for another episode of The Man Tracks.
It's a commentary on Christian life and culture. Sorry.
Forgot your lines.
It's a commentary on Christian life and culture from a pastor's wife and her sidekick.
And that's me.
I'm your favorite host, Sara Mantrack.
You are my favorite. And I'm that other one, JJ Mantrick. And we are back for episode 26, which is somehow less special than last week, which was episode 25, you know. I really don't have any banter. It's been such
witty or
I'm glad to be here, especially because tonight, and I'm just going to put it out there, what we do when we record this podcast is we put the kids to bed after a long day, and we have our mulled cider. We got some apple cider with some mulled spices mixed in, and it's warmed up, and this is
delicious.
This is a great way to spend an evening. People are like, why do you make the podcast if nobody listens?
Because I get to drink a warm beverage
at
the end of a long day.
The process of making it is quite delightful. So anyways, we are back. I'm excited for this. All right, so are you ready to approach the news desk?
I am.
You want to go first?
Yes. All right, so my first story is, it's just a bad title. Loaf Saver. California baker crafts life-size Han Solo out of bread.
What?
The co-owners of One House Bakery in Benicia, California, spent weeks molding, baking, and assembling the Star Wars creation.
They made wait. Okay, so it's bread.
Han Solo may be a hunk. Someone had way too much fun with these
Writing the puns.
Han Solo may be a hunk, but Han Solo is a hunk of bread. So the bakery in San Francisco made a 6-foot sculpture of the Star Wars character as he was after being frozen in carbonite in The Empire Strikes Back.
Wow.
So
they made a big giant, the square of him with his hands poking out?
Yep.
Okay.
I thought I saw I think the picture's somewhere in here, this article. But Hannalee Pervan and her mother, Catherine, co-owners of the bakery, spent weeks assembling the structure, used wood and 2 types of dough, including a yeastless dough with higher sugar concentration that will last longer. Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh my gosh, it's huge.
It's a sculpture.
It's bigger than she is.
It's amazing that's bread because it literally just looks like a molded sculpture.
Yeah.
The two worked night after night after the day's business was done. They lovingly crafted the details of Han's anguished face and hands straining out. Hannalee said she might have gotten a bit obsessed.
A little bit though, it's very cool, but weeks, bread doesn't last weeks, even the long-lasting stuff. I'm like, what? And it's made of wood also? This is not supposed to be edible? I'm confused.
No, it sounds like it's not. It's made of bread. It's more of a sculpture / activity for them to do than it's anything to actually function as bread. I would
it's very
not
cool.
Eat that.
I love it. Han Solo built out of bread. But if it took him weeks to, it's we started at the feet and we got to the head and we got it done, but his feet are starting to mold because
So it sounds like this was their entry into an annual downtown scarecrow contest. Flushing has their scarecrow contest where they literally decorate a scarecrow and hang it on a pole or hang it on the light post.
Right, that looks great.
But this was their entry. So all the businesses in this town do it, and it was entered by other local businesses, but this one was this bakery, she and her mom, they're big science fiction and fantasy fans, and so usually they create Star Wars themed creations. So a couple of years ago they did Baby Yoda and the Mandalorian.
Ooh, now see that I'd be actually even more excited. Han Solo's great, but Baby Yoda, that would be amazing. I'm gonna have to look these pictures up.
It says, unfortunately, Han Solo won't last forever. The dough eventually will be composted, not eaten. So as a wise Jedi might warn, don't use the forks, Luke. That's an impressive sculpture, though. You'll have to check out this photo. It really does look quite good, but I can't believe that it's made out of bread because that's just very detailed.
That's just so bizarre. Well, but more impressive to me than the bread sculpture is the puns and the sentence after sentence.
Yeah, this person from the Huffington Post really had a
the writer is doing
penchant for
a great
wordplay.
Job. Oh man, that's so funny. Han Solo made of bread. Did they I wonder, did they win something?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
just
curious. It just says it was
a lot of work.
This article is from today. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, this
article
was from
crazy.
yesterday. I don't know if they won, but it's their town's annual bakery entry or annual entry into the downtown Benicia Main Street Scarecrow Contest.
Scarecrow contest. That's clever. That's fun.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So anyway, just super punny and goofy and
I love it.
Weird.
That's a very you story. I feel like it captures a lot of elements of who you are.
Yeah.
You're a bread maker. You are a fan of the Star Wars.
I don't make Star Wars bread though.
No, you'll get there. Don't worry. You got something to shoot for. Yeah. This is the dream.
Shoot for the stars, right?
And you love stories made up full of puns.
Yeah, I do. That's true.
All right, so NASA DART mission hits asteroid in first ever planetary defense test. Did you hear about this?
No, I did not.
Really? Okay. NASA has successfully moved an asteroid. Moved it. So basically, like, this asteroid was not actually a threat, but they were testing a planetary defense system to see if they could, if there was like a problematic asteroid coming towards us.
Wow.
After 10 months of flying in space, NASA's Double Asteroid Redirection Test, or DART, because they have to do that every time, the world's first planetary defense technology demonstration, successfully impacted its asteroid target on Monday, the agency's first attempt to move an asteroid in space.
Wow.
So this asteroid's moving around in space, and they know its orbit, right? It comes by.
Sure.
And then we're like, we're going to test out our system and see if we can hit it hard enough to knock it off course.
The direction,
Mission Control at Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory in Laurel, Maryland, announced the successful impact. As part of their planetary defense strategy, the impact with the asteroid demonstrates a viable mitigation technique for protecting the planet from earthbound asteroid or comet, if one were discovered. So it wasn't like a real thing, but it's like, here's our plan. Mm-hmm. We're going to hit it.
Wow. That's impressive. That's crazy.
So they targeted a tiny little asteroid. It's 530 feet in diameter and orbits a larger asteroid. And they
wow.
I know, right? So there's this one asteroid and then there's like a little one going around it. And they hit the little one and knocked it off course a little bit.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're like, I think we could do it. It's just a little tiny one.
Right. And it wasn't an actual threat, but
they hit it hard. So they had a 1,260 pound box shaped spacecraft, and that hit into intentionally crashing into it at roughly 14,000 miles per hour.
Whoa.
That's how fast this little thing that they shot out was going. It's not like a bomb. It's not a missile. It's like a box that they shot into it and it hit.
Wow.
And they had a real-time navigation or smart nav algorithms that enabled DART to identify and distinguish between the two asteroids targeting the smaller body.
Wow.
Right? So it needed to be really smart and be able to redirect and all that.
Yeah.
Man, it provides a significant addition to the essential toolbox that we must have to protect Earth from a devastating impact by an asteroid. I don't know, it's pretty cool.
That is impressive, though.
I mean, for the amount of movies that we have about that exact topic, it's like, well, I'm glad at least we're trying to figure it out, you know? No, and it's decent PR for them. It's like, hey, they did a cool thing.
It is, yeah.
That's fresh because most of it's been like we went to the moon.
Yeah, we kind of were over that.
We're talking about Mars, but we're not really
doing anything.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like, this is exciting. This is cool, even though it's not real.
Yeah, but it's still, I mean, that's impressive. I think that's an impressive thing.
All right, are you ready for the sponsor of your life? Listeners of what the sponsor of life is. You see, we are this tiny little podcast and we have so much fun and we love it, and just about everybody who listens, they have told us that they love it and they appreciate it, but because we just do not care about getting big and popular, we have no sponsors. So what we do every week is we take a moment to pause and pump up products or services or even just things in our life that are sponsoring our life, things that we love. It helps build gratitude in our lives, and I hope you look at your life and discover what is sponsoring your life as well. That was like a little commercial I just did.
I like that. So I'd say maybe this week, I've done a lot of crafts with the kids this week, so I think Pinterest will come in again. Just Pinterest is a handy thing I found to bounce back and around and
it's like an app,
ideas.
Right? It's like a little...
Yeah.
It's not social. Is it social media? Does it count?
I guess it kind of counts as social media. I don't interact with people, though. I just kind of browse ideas and get inspiration for kids' crafts and stuff.
Other people post their ideas.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I'd say Pinterest because I found some great recipes for things and activities with the boys.
Crafting as I
use
understand
it for,
it, I haven't had a Pinterest in a long time. I had it for a little while and I didn't use it very much.
Nah. I don't use it that much either, except for when I'm looking for craft ideas for the boys, or like inspiration for things. So
that's very cool. Very nice. Very nice. That's sponsoring your life this week.
Yeah.
All right. So for me, I'm going to go with, and I feel it's a little premature because we have started the final episode and not finished it. So maybe I might be putting my foot in my mouth after we finish it. Maybe I don't like it. But I am my sponsor of my life has been the Rings of Power series that we've been watching. I was very nervous for it. It's, for those who don't know, Rings of Power was a Lord of the Rings prequel drawing on some of the other texts that like nobody's ever read. Some people have read. But this like brought the Tolkien nerds out of the woodwork, and I know it's departed from the canon and people are a little mad about some of the changes, but for the most part, it's really well done. And I've appreciated, people were really afraid that they were going to try and like modernize it and throw in all these big changes, and there are some changes, but nothing really that departs too much. It's great storytelling told in the same like style of the Lord of the Rings classic tales. And so I've enjoyed it. We haven't quite finished the finale yet. We've only watched half, but so far, all the episodes so far, I'm into it. I really like it. So that is sponsoring my life today, the Rings of Power TV series, brought to you by the Mantrix podcast. They do not pay us.
They care a lot about
getting
who we
a dime. That's okay. We don't really.
I'm paying them all my dimes too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right. Are you ready for our bit?
Yes.
Okay, so today it is time for another round of Clever or Cringe. For returning listeners, you already know what this is, but for new listeners, this is a segment that we bring on in the podcast every now and then where we examine various facets of the Christian life and we discuss whether they are clever or cringy. And oftentimes it's very cringy. So today what I want to talk about is Christians on Halloween, because it is the month of October and we do all kinds of goofy stuff with Halloween. So let me just ask the general question before we dive in, because I found an article, 25 super fun Halloween alternatives for Christians. Okay. But before we get into that, how do you feel about Halloween, and what was it growing up, and what was was it like Halloween is evil?
Growing up, we celebrated Halloween.
Yeah,
and by celebrate, I mean like if there was, if we were free and it wasn't too cold and we had costume ideas, we'd go out and like when we were really young, I mean it was like occasionally if there was like a school event or something, maybe we go or whatever. We went trick-or-treating with friends a couple times. When I was older, I loved handing out candy, so I would just like dress up just to hand out candy to kids. I didn't really go
cute. Like in your house, you never left the house, but you were still
when I was in high school, I'd still make a costume and throw a costume together, but like I'd just hand out candy to the kids because my parents didn't really do Halloween. Like they would just hang out, and my siblings would sometimes go trick-or-treating with friends. It wasn't like a big deal, but it was like, oh, this is kind of fun to dress up, and I don't know, that was like growing up. I guess I don't really have like a strong like desire for Halloween. Like I'm not really into the like super spooky, gory, like it's just not my vibe. I don't know. It's fun to dress up. Obviously the kids have a good time. Did you get
any of the like religious anti-Halloween stuff growing up? Like you should not do Halloween. You really?
Oh, not. I mean, personally, my family and nobody was like that, but we definitely had. There were people that we knew that were very much like. Condemning, or even the people that just like, we don't celebrate and just that's it. It just ends there.
Just don't.
Which is fine. Everybody gets to do, I think it's important if you're gonna not celebrate something to have a reason or whatever, or like to be able to explain why you choose not to, rather than just condemning someone else for it, and maybe calling them to question or ask them a little bit more instead of just outright shaming them for it. But I don't know. I'd say I'm not like Halloween is the best holiday. That's not it's not your bit. It's not my vibe. But it's not my stance on the topic.
You like.
But I don't know, the kids like to dress up, and I appreciate the trunk or treats that we've done. I think that's a nice alternative.
Fun Christian alternative.
Christian, I don't know if it's Christian, but it is a family friendly event. Like that's a little safer. I'm just not super into the idea of my kids, because we have young kids going door to door, or they're not old enough at all to go off by themselves with anyone. So it's nice.
Yeah, I'm going to throw out a theory. So I definitely have some people in my life who are like, Halloween celebrates the devil and it's demonic and you should stay away from all that stuff. And there's a few like that, and I think most of us have kind of like, yeah, but not really. Like, that's never really been what Halloween is. Halloween, we've really, like, cutesied it up, right? And it makes it more marketable, especially for younger families, when you make it spooky instead of horror. You know, like, more thrills and less horror, you know? Like, you don't want it to be terrifying. And so, I don't know, I just feel like... I think that most people's discomfort with Halloween is not so much the divide between the religious and the non-religious, but between the gore and the spooky. Right? There's those who do like the creepy horror, like I want to scare you and come up with demented, twisted stuff. And then there's people who are like, well, I just like the little ghost decorations and we have fun dressing up. And they almost make it like a kiddie version of Halloween. And everybody seems to be okay with that version of Halloween.
Seems to be okay with it. I don't know. I as I get older, I do like tend to like look, you know, just kind of like as you do as a parent with a more discerning and critical eye at things.
That's true, yeah.
I've like, so I do think there are great resources out there for, you know, figuring out what you think on the issue, but I don't know. Yeah, it's an interesting thing for sure because there's a lot of divide on the.
I remember, when I was in high school, it was fun. What we would do is we always went trick or treating, even when we were older.
Oh, and see, my parents were very much like,
you're not going to do it.
It's not appropriate to go trick or treating as a teenager. Like, you know, you're 14, 15 years old. You can hand out candy or like do an event or take your siblings out, but that's like, it just seems greedy as a teenager. My parents said to go out and trick or treat because it's kind of the thing for the kids.
Well, and what we would always do is that we would go trick or treating for a little while, and then we'd go to someone's house and have a Halloween party.
Oh, okay.
Like that was how it worked. It was like you went trick or treating
to
together in a group.
Parties.
Then we went to a Halloween party, and then usually you end the night with like watching a scary movie. Like that was the thing when I was a kid. But I remember one year, my buddy David Stevens, his family had this like tradition of making their walkway like scary, you know, so like the kids, it was like a little mini horror experience. You go get your candy and you walk
and
past,
then you go through the haunted house.
yeah and so it was like they had like a little walkway, right? And so we would like hide in the bushes and like jump out and scare the kids, right? Or like you're sitting in the chair and you're pretending you're a scarecrow. Yeah, like that kind of thing.
I guess that's true. My youth group did. I'm now remembering, we did a couple years in a row. We went to either a haunted corner, like a pumpkin patch, or a haunted house. And I remember, I don't like
on
stuff
Halloween,
like that.
Or
not
like
on Halloween, just as like an event for the like, you know how like you do with the youth group at the church, like it's definitely. You know, a couple weeks before Halloween we're gonna go to the pumpkin patch and do the corn maze or something.
We're
like
going on Saturday.
We did a haunted house a couple times, and I don't like that type of experience.
You do not.
I don't like being surprised. I don't like things jumping out at me.
Have we been to a haunted house together?
I'm claustrophobic. I don't like any of that stuff. So, I would just have someone hold my hand and lead me through, and I would close my eyes the whole time. I didn't like it. I hate haunted houses. So I remember that, but it was never a fun experience. Like I was going purely for the social aspect of hanging out with my friends.
Yeah.
Don't want to have anything to do with it. And there was always a promise of some sort of treat or ice cream afterwards. So the real motivator was food. It was not the event of Halloween or related things. But I don't know. I don't know. I didn't ever go to Halloween parties or anything like that either. So
see, and we did all of that. And I remember that being really fun. And we would like... it felt like it was more appropriate for people our age to be doing like a Halloween type thing and like jumping out and scaring people. Although a couple of times, you know, you like spook a little kid and you feel really bad and you like come out. Yeah, and you're like, oh, so sorry, here's the candy bowl, take as much as you want, you know, and you just kind of do something nice for them. But yeah, okay, so that's a good preface. So I'm going to jump into the Halloween alternatives article in just a second. But first, I want to talk about some of these Christian Halloween decorations.
Oh, okay.
So I found a whole bunch. There's a whole world of Christian, quote-unquote, Christian Halloween decorations. Why do we need this, people?
This is the thing that nobody ever asked for. If you're struggling so much to make something Christian, maybe we just don't need to make our version of it, and we just need to say, let's not celebrate it.
So this one is lawn signs.
Oh, dear.
Right? And so this is Oriental Trading Company. It's not a Christian company, but they're like capitalizing on if I put Jesus's name on something, people will buy it, you know? And so there's little like candy corn lawn signs, which is obviously of the devil because candy corn is disgusting.
That's true. Candy corn is disgusting.
All right, this podcast is officially anti-candy corn, so we just lost.
Sorry. You can
like,
keep
half
on
our
moving if
listeners
you
right
really
there.
like, candy corns. I'm sorry.
But in the little package, so there's the candy corn lawn sign, and then there's a pumpkin lawn sign. It's a big orange pumpkin, and it just has words on the pumpkin that says, Jesus makes life sweeter.
On a pumpkin?
On a pumpkin that you put in your yard for Halloween. Clever or cringe?
It's an easy way to proselytize without ever having to talk to someone.
Ooh, have we noticed a theme? That comes up every time we talk clever or cringe. It's Christians finding ways to
It's a billboard, so I don't have to engage.
So I don't actually have to talk to people. All right, and then this one's like a little candy wrapper. Like it kind of looks like a bubble gum, like the bubble yum. And it says, Jesus is sweet. Jesus is so sweet.
This is weird.
Yes. There's also a pumpkin.
This is a sign no one asked for.
Another candy says, life is sweeter with Jesus. And the other pumpkin says, delight yourself in Jesus.
Delight yourself in Jesus? Yeah, I'm good. I don't need those signs.
I don't know. There's nothing like wrong with it.
I guess I don't understand why we felt the need to market our own brand of Halloween decorations. Like,
yes. Because Christians will buy it.
Well, but like if you're gonna celebrate Halloween, have the kids come to the door and give them something out. Like, talk to them. Why do you need the sign and then be like, I'm not actually going to talk to these people, but I love Jesus, but mostly just so I can buy the lawn sign? Like,
maybe it's for churches. Like, you put it in the church. No, but they're selling it for people.
I don't get it.
Now, here's one I think you will like.
Okay.
This one leans into the Halloween theme a little bit. It's not an alternative. It's just using Halloween to present Jesus. These are bookmarks.
Oh, dear.
Religious Halloween bookmark assortment. Okay? So these are really cute, right? And it's a little cute drawing of a ghost, and it says, believe in Jesus. It is like a little mummy, and it says wrapped in God's love. And then that one's not very fun. It's a candy corn, and it says Jesus is the sweetest name. Which is cute, except candy corn is gross, so no. There's a little black cat, and it says God's love is perfect.
These are trying way too hard.
I don't really get this one though. It's Frankenstein, and it says Jesus keeps me from harm.
This Frankenstein will rip you, tear you apart.
Yeah, right, I guess that's true. All right, so here's my absolute favorite one before we get to the alternatives.
Oh no.
This is it's like a tag. What is this? It's a religious gift tag. I'm very proud of this. This is so clever. It says, don't forget to never stop Fall-O-Ween, not Halloween, Fall-O-Ween Jesus. Like fall, Fall-O-Ween
like
Jesus.
Halloween.
Don't forget to never stop Fall-O-Ween Jesus for heavenly treats. Have a happy Halloween. And then there's like the church logo at the bottom.
That was too much of a stretch.
Fall-O-Ween.
And who the heck? Oh my god.
I love it so much. It's so cringy.
Oh, that's terrible.
Guys, we don't have to do this.
Just stop. Please just stop.
Also, I just need everyone to understand, if you need a true Halloween alternative, there is another holiday, a Christian holiday that falls on that day. It's called Reformation Day, folks. Come on.
Let's just celebrate All Saints Day and just move on.
All right, so here's this article. It's coming from thinkaboutssuchthings.com. 25 plus super fun Halloween alternatives for Christians. Now, I didn't leave us too much time to talk about this, but that's okay, because you're going to notice real quick what these are.
Oh, dear.
Okay, so these are Halloween alternatives. And this is another piece. So right at the top, she uses the Bible verse, 1 Thessalonians 5:21-23. Prove all things, hold fast to that which is good, abstain from all appearance of evil. Now, so I think that verse is taken, and they take that and they say, abstain from all appearance of evil. So you can't use Halloween decorations. So you can't be involved in Halloween because it's evil. Now, here's what bothers me about that. Abstain from appearance of evil is about your behavior, people. It's not about decorations.
This is a verse taken out
or
of context.
ghouls or ghosts. It's about your behavior.
It's not what you feel is evil.
You know what's evil is like pride and apathy. Not apathy. Pride and gluttony and.
Are you trying to name the 7 deadly sins? No. And you thought apathy was one of them?
Isn't well, sloth is.
Yes,
so.
but not apathy.
Oh, you're right. You're right. But anyway, like it's about what you do, right? The abstain from the appearance of evil is not a warning against Halloween decorations.
Okay, so we've already set ourselves up against this woman and her
a little
blog.
bit. I'm sorry. Yeah. Let me just make you totally on my side before we get started.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, she starts out. Let's be real. Halloween is evil.
Oh, okay. So we've got her bias here.
Okay, now I understand. If people want to like hold
Oh
off
yeah,
on Halloween, that's fine. But okay, so scrolling to, she's got fun Halloween alternatives. Number 1, go on a fall adventure. God made a beautiful season, and what better way to celebrate it by going outside?
Oh, gee, I never thought of that. What a great idea.
Not a Halloween alternative. Number 2, a fall festival at a local church. Churches throw fall or harvest festivals.
Yes. Yeah.
Hayrides. Hayrides are downright fun way to get fun and a great way to enjoy a fall evening. To find hayrides in your area, do a quick Google search. I love hayrides. It's wonderful.
Just get together with your friends, buy some candy, and have a party. And yeah, there's a Halloween alternative.
I forget what number they're not numbered. Pumpkin patch. Go to a pumpkin patch.
These are fall activities.
This is just a list of...
Did she just describe things that people in Michigan do during the fall?
That's exactly what she did. This is just a massive list of awesome stuff you can do in the fall. It has not like, and maybe I just am picking on. I don't mean to pick on this.
I don't think these are actually alternatives to Halloween though.
There's no need for it to be an alternative. So she lists. The next one is corn maze. Yep, awesome.
But here's a question. Instead of condemning the holiday, which is clear that this is the angle that this person has taken, instead of just condemning it and being like, we need to do something alternative, we need to just pretend this doesn't exist, why not try to find a way to like bring the gospel into this situation? Like, this is one of those situations where, we don't want to be of the world, we just want to eliminate ourselves from the world by being completely separate. We don't want to engage with those people. Why not try and engage with people in a healthier way and say, you're right, I don't believe in the events that are happening on Halloween. I don't believe in the spiritual things that people are doing who maybe are Wiccan or who celebrate witchcraft or have their holiday festivals. But I want to find a way to like reach out to people with the gospel or help people or whatever. Yeah. Like, let's not just ignore it and say we're going to do our own thing. We don't want to be a part of them or
and I do feel like there is this like, by not participating, that's okay, but there's no need to judge other people for participating, especially when so many of them are involved in it on a superficial cultural level.
Right.
It has nothing to do with
They're not worshiping the devil. Like, that's not fair.
And if they are, let's say they are Wiccan and they are worshiping the devil and they actually believe that stuff, you're not going to engage with them in any way that helps. So let me burn through these. Visit the zoo. Some zoos have fun face painting. Collect leaves.
Yeah.
Geocaching. Oh, I love geocaching. That's
I didn't know people still did that.
Yeah, but
how old is this article?
I don't know. Okay, there we go. Here's a nugget of awesomeness. Help the church with outreach or feed the homeless.
Okay.
There you go. The weather starts to turn chilly in October and those in need something warm. Consider helping out in a church outreach, volunteering in a soup kitchen, or with the homeless. It's important to serve others. We are the hands and feet of Jesus in the world. There you go. That's a fantastic... It's still not really a Halloween alternative, but it's a good thing. It's a better thing to do. Yeah. And then she gets into alternative craft ideas. Pumpkin carving or decorating.
I'm sorry.
How is that?
That's something everyone everywhere has always done.
But basically, her point is it doesn't have to be creepy jack-o'-lanterns or evil characters. You could do a quick Pinterest search and do something positive.
I hope this person didn't make money from this blog post because there was nothing super creative
about. Make a fall wreath. That's very cute. I like fall wreaths, but this is not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Christian Halloween party substitutes. One that gathers people, builds relationship, and is fun. That's what a Halloween party is.
Yeah, that is what it is. it's about social gathering. I mean, that's why people go trick-or-treating. They're with other people. They're in groups. They're dressed up. It's a fun event to do with other people.
I get it. They're trying to get away from the negative aspect. But I think as a culture, most of us have moved away from the negative. Like, I would wager if I talked to every single kid who's out there on Halloween, I couldn't find a single one who has any idea what Halloween's about beyond costumes and candy. This is the label, fun anti-Halloween baking ideas, caramel apples.
Anti-Halloween?
How is that?
Everybody knows that caramel apples are specifically anti-Halloween.
Yes. Yep. Pumpkin.
They're very
goodies.
against it.
What? This is just awesome Halloween stuff with an anti-Halloween label. Like, I'm just... Anyways.
Oh boy, that's very interesting.
I'll share the link.
It's the coming at it from the angle of we can't just decide not to do it. We have to be anti it, you know.
100%. Well, and it's very like
maybe not a healthy way to look at it, I think.
And that's the thing. This is actually, so I don't know the person who runs this blog or anything. This is a really lovely article of awesome things to do in the fall.
These are great suggestions.
But why did it have to be framed as Halloween alternative or anti-Halloween? It's very cringy, and it's very like, I love all these ideas.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't do these things. I'm saying
these are
go
great
do
ideas.
all these things.
Fun ideas,
but you
sure.
don't have to pitch it as we're anti the world.
Yeah,
you know, we're
anti-Halloween. Like,
yeah.
Well, and if you're gonna come from that angle, at least look into the background of Halloween, or give some sort of explanation, or maybe help your audience understand why is it so important for you to show us that we need to be anti-Halloween. Like, you're going to tell me I need to jump on your boat. Why do I need to jump on your boat? How is it going to help me in any way? Save me from this awful holiday that apparently, is burning us all down. Like,
see, and I have some friends who are formerly Wiccan, right? And they used to be into the spiritual cultist type stuff, and worshiping the devil or worshiping demons and all that kind of stuff. And they really want to keep a distance from Halloween. I have friends who are like, oh, I don't mess around with that stuff because I used to mess around with that stuff and that messed me up. And so now I'm walking a different life. I want to, stay in the light. I want to stay close to Jesus. So they just like, I'm not having anything to do with it. And I got a lot of respect for that. I'm like, okay, you and your situation, that totally makes sense, because Halloween is like a whole different thing to you. For the bulk of the world, I think it's just this big consumer holiday. And when I say the bulk of our country, Halloween is a big consumer holiday that's cute for the kids and
it's
fun.
really only big in the United States. I know that when I worked with international students, they had no idea what the heck Halloween even was. Like, they knew about it culturally because it was a big deal in the United States, but like, I remember they were so confused why people were decorating and getting dressed up and going and asking for candy at other people's doors. They're like, what the heck is this that you do? Like, and this was college students that I was working with, but they were very confused.
Well, and nobody's going to sit them down and be like, well, we're here to worship Satan. Like, that's not it. They're going to say, oh, it's this weird cultural thing we do for fun. Like, I don't know.
But I mean, that's a legitimate question that people would ask, is like, oh, so like, are people, like, they were very confused because there is such a strong connection to Halloween being something that's connected valid. To, the spirit world and people who do celebrate witchcraft. And they were like, so do people like worship the devil? Like, I remember I had a student who's from Thailand, and she was very confused about it. She was like, so do you guys have any kind of like, it was very hard for her to like explain it, because she was about 18 years old, but she was she was brand new to the United States from Thailand, and it was hard to like explain it without being too overly descriptive and stuff. But she was like, do you guys like worship the devil, or what do you do? And she wasn't she wasn't in any way like any kind of Christian religion or anything like that, but she was very confused by it all, because just based on what she had heard about the general vibe of the holiday, I say holiday, but like the celebration is its roots and its connection to Wiccan celebrations and stuff. And so she was like, what do you guys do on Halloween? And I was trying to explain, like, not in any way is that our connection to it, at least not me personally. I mean, maybe there are people that and if that was were at the college who were I worked at a secular university. I mean, there's probably people of all faiths or whatever. Maybe that's what they do, but I was like, for the majority of us, it's more of a cultural fun activity. Like, it's interesting to see that. So. So I thought that was a fascinating topic to jump into, because I just think
Christians can go a little overboard trying to be in the world but not of it, and we have to like draw our lines and be like, we are not the same as you. And it's like, yeah, I know, but honestly, for the most part, this is just a fun, goofy thing. Has absolutely nothing to do with worshiping the devil or anything with the devil. Kids like to dress up in costumes and get free candy, and that's as far as it goes in just about every kid's mind. And so if you are in any way connected to something that's making you uncomfortable, yeah, seek out some of these fun alternatives. And just go do awesome fall stuff. There's so much fun fall stuff to do, especially in our, in Michigan, in the Midwest. We got great color tours. And and I love this article full of phenomenal fall activities. I'm not so much on board with the labeling it as a Halloween
anti-Halloween.
It just doesn't sit well with me.
It seems lacking.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for tuning in. If you appreciate this little podcast, head over to Spotify, hit that 5 stars, like, subscribe, follow, whatever you want to do. Or if you're on Apple Podcast or an Apple device, you can actually type out a review. Apparently that helps the algorithm and helps more people find this fun, goofy little podcast.
Thanks so much to Music Town for the use of our theme song. Don't forget to check us out on social media. There's that Facebook, Twitter, Instagram page, all those things that JJ updates regularly. So...
All right, are you ready with your mom joke of the week?
Yes, and this week we have a Halloween joke just to keep in vibe with what we've been doing. So, why did Dracula take cold medicine?
Sniffles? I don't know.
Because he was coughing too much.
Coughing. That's so bad.
Terrible.
All right, bye everybody.
Take care.